in number, 2 squads of stormtroopers equipped with strikes on the field, as well as an officer, speeding up the production out of the Storm Armory. The Storm Armory that is has queued up 3 Stooks. that's a good resource sink. I want 3 Stooks out and I want them now. Nibblewerfer seems to be back in combat, while those Hellcats try to dislodge that Pioneer squad from the house in the east, and are not as effective as the American player thinks. Now the Stook is on the field, does have veterans level 1. Let's see. No, the Wehrmacht player is not investing in any veterans at the moment. Nibblewerfer firing on those Hellcats doesn't seem to be doing anything. Hellcats set on trying to take this house down. They're quite close to doing so. Let's see if they're gonna keep shooting. No, they don't. And the Pioneer squad is down. One more. Once again, Hellcat target firing those Pioneers in the center. Makes them go away. However, they decap the victory point. Victory point wise, still the Wehrmacht player is in the lead with around I don't know, 78. Is that 78 victory point now? So not as good as he was before with his 100 and something, but still ahead. And that Stook force is gonna be a formidable force to deal with, to be dealt with by the American player. 3 Hellcats are good, but they are not as good because although they seem to be spread out on the field, and the Wehrmacht player seems to be going for a mass attack with his Stooks. At least that's what it seems at this point in the game. However, he hasn't made any move yet. He has them grouped together in the east and waits. Stormtroopers are cloaked by that strategic point outside of the American player's base. Hellcat is cloaked as well, so nobody sees anybody. So really weird there. Flamer engineers attempt a flank in the west against an MG42 and some flame pioneers. I don't think they're gonna kill the MG42 because their retreat this time was really in time, and a rifleman squad approaches this position as well, most probably in order to cap back the strategic point, the medium fuel point, and of course the high munition point. However, the sneaky stormtroopers took out that Hellcat, and the American player retaliates with an off-map artillery barrage. Stormtroopers take some casualties, while the Wehrmacht player seems to have made his move with his Stooks in the northeast. One of the Hellcats does go down, but so did the Stook. Now, once the cloak bonus for the Hellcat goes away, those Stooks will be able to take down that Hellcat. And their front armor is very, very good. Nearby rifle squad and rangers seem to be able to take down one of those Stooks. No, we destroyed the engine on the Stook. So, but the Hellcat does manage to kill it. Excuse me. Not so certain how the American player is gonna play this. Is he gonna try to keep going for the victory points, or is he going to go for a kill? I'm not sure if he can kill the Wehrmacht player, and most probably he cannot. And his victory point was he's behind, and unless he tries to keep 2 of those in his hands, preferably the one close to his base, and stop that long-range harassment, which I don't think if it's actually paying off, because as I said, victory point wise, still in the range of the 80 victory point difference. That's quite It's quite a few victory points to come back from. But once again, MG42 micro by the Wehrmacht player fails. He loses one to the west. And Nebelwerfer Barrage tries to deter those engineers from staying in the vicinity and capping the victory point. Seems to have failed though. On the other hand, and in the northeast, nearby the American base, Stormtroopers seem to have made their way there and tried to take out the howitzer that was built by the American player. Have fired off 2 puncher strikes, both hit. That howitzer is going down, and that's a severe manpower and overall resource drain for the American player. Not so sure why he needed that howitzer, to be honest. It's evident now that the Wehrmacht player has turned to tanks. All those Tugs. Howitzer wouldn't be effective anyway against those tanks. It's actually very late, I think. The positioning, you could say it could have been better, but still, the Tugs could have driven to the position of the howitzer anyway and killed it off. So I'm not so critical of that. And the American player called GG, and it's actually a sensible thing to do, given the fact that he he has nothing to fight off those Tugs. I'm not sure why he got all those Hellcats in order to fight off those MGs. I mean, there are other ways to do that. Snipers, mortars, flanking. Hellcats just for the MG42s and then losing them to the Stugs. Not so sure about that. Overall, I think there were mistakes by both sides in this game. The American player taking choices seems to have been a little bit off. I mean, he got those bars on the rifleman, he got his engineers with the flamers and all, and then he fell short of utilizing them properly in well set up flanks in order to drive up those MGs. And then, what was even weirder was the Hellcat choice. At the moment that the Wehrmacht player didn't have tanks in the field, and Hellcats that were just used to kind of push the MGs off, they are not efficient at doing that. I mean, he could have even tried the base rush with his Hellcats. I mean, he did have 3 on the field at one given moment, and the Wehrmacht player had only stormtroopers to fight them off. And as we saw, infantry crashing with the Hellcat is not only possible, it's quite effective as well. If he had driven those Hellcats in the Wehrmacht base, combined with the fact that he had got infantry company and had those off-map artillery barrage as well as the on-map howitzer, he could have taken out a lot of buildings in the Wehrmacht place, let alone he could have killed those many units. And then he could have used his rifleman back on the field to take control of the map, but instead he was trying to force off a Wehrmacht position that was comprised mostly by MGs that the Hellcats couldn't kill easily, and he lost Hellcats in the process by the stormtroopers. The riflemen couldn't do anything because of the MG42s, and they actually didn't even try, to be honest, that much. Harassment was good, but harassment is not enough. You have to pull something off from the harassment, and you have to invest the resources you gain from the harassment into something that makes sense. And in this case, I don't think it makes sense. On the other hand, the Wehrmacht player did lose a lot of units. The initial 5 pioneers did come down to a number of 2, actually, near the mid-game, and he lost quite a few MGs as well. But he replenished them all the time, and he could fight that harassment game really easily by securing some sector with the MG and prodding his pioneers nearby. And the American player not attacking his base, that gave him the opportunity to take up so easily and get all those stooks. Of course, as well as the veterancy. And in the end, the Stormtroopers did prove to be a very good investment by him. Overall, I would say a decent game. I kind of enjoyed it. It was enjoyable, and I hope you did too. So this is gonna wrap it up for now, and I'll be seeing you shortly. I'm a KG, out.